Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Wellness Connection today on motivation. I'm Molly Schneider.
I'm Cindy Edgerly, and we are well together.
So, today our topic talk is on motivation. So, motivation, as we know, is how you get anywhere in life from waking up and getting out of bed, brushing your teeth. Everything you do every day requires motivation. So it's worth a deep look and think, how can we strategize to really use motivation to help us achieve our goals? So that's what we're going to talk about today. First, we're going to do a minute reset. Then we're going to get into our topic talk. And then we feel you'll be ready to ready, set, goal. First, I'm going to turn it over to Cindy, who's going to help get us our minute reset going.
Thank you, Molly. So let's pause for a moment to clear our minds, find our calm, and center ourselves. Feel free to close your eyes or find a focal point and begin to just notice your breath. As you breathe, imagine you are inhaling positive energy, strength, and intention, and exhaling any stress or fogginess you may be experiencing. Find a positive statement that resonates with you, such as, I'm ready to make a change. I know I can do it. Or I am strong and capable. Or perhaps something else that fits. Repeat it to yourself. Let it be your mantra. Notice with compassion any negative thoughts that may enter your mind, and know that we all have them from time to time. Acknowledge and release them as you exhale. Return your focus to your mantra, visualizing yourself having accomplished what you are striving to do. Let yourself experience the feeling of success as you visualize your accomplishment. Savor that feeling and credit yourself for being here today, ready to strengthen your motivation and begin the new year with intention.
Thank you, Cindy. That was awesome. Now our heads are free of the clutter and we are ready to dive right in and set some goals. So, to start, I wasn't kidding. We called this Ready, Set, Goal on purpose. We're going to step right in and goal set. So, one thing that I want you to do today is first navigate over to the chat if you're here with us live. If you're watching the recording, I want you to go to the notepad, grab an actual notepad, but you're going to write down right now one thing that you want to do today. And it doesn't have to be anything big. Unfortunately, world peace and global health are not something we can necessarily solve today. So, just one thing that you want to do today that's realistic and achievable, write it down. We're going to give you a minute. Okay, so now you've said it or written it, and we're going to table that for now. But congratulations. We know there's one thing that you're going to do today. But let's examine the process behind what we need to do to really motivate. So there's 8 key steps. The first step is setting the intention or goal. We don't get anything done if we don't intend to do it and set the goal of doing it. Even if it's as simple as brushing your teeth, you need to know and set your mind to that you're going to do it. Number two, finding the energy. So we have all of these cells swirling around in us, but we do need to direct them as to what to do. So we're going to have to summon the energy and use that energy toward getting done what we want to get done. The third step is to make a plan. So, unless we have a plan, it also is unlikely or a lot less likely that we're actually going to be able to execute that. So, let's carefully plan and then we'll have something to work on. Number four is channeling our resources. So we know it takes resources to do anything. Even in my simple example of brushing your teeth, what do we need? We know we need a toothbrush, we need toothpaste, but whatever the resources are in a larger, bigger example, we know that that's what we need. So let's channel those resources so we have them accessible when we're working towards our goal. Now, the next step is clearing our path. So I know that we have at least one East Coast person with us today, and I'm picturing for you the snow that's outside of your front door as a visual equation. So if you want to leave your house today, to even open that front door and get out, we know that you're going to need to shovel that path. So in our real life examples, that might not be exactly what we need to do, but if you can picture that there's always a path ahead of you and you need to do what you can to clear that path. So I hope it's not too much snow, but whatever it is that you're working towards, make the room and clear your path. Okay, besides just our path, we need to know that it's something that we have time to accomplish. So when you're setting your goal and thinking of if it's something that you can do today, make sure it's something that you have time for. Um, Even if it's while I'm working, I know I want to change the sheets. Is today the day that you can multitask? Think, do I have time for this? And make the time if that's a priority to you. uh, a focused mindset. So, we also know that a key step to getting things done is to take our brain and just narrowly focus in on what we want to accomplish. So, rather than have our brains scattered because we're trying to do too many things, focus your mindset on your actual objective and just keep your head in the game while you're doing it. And last but not least, we have to just do it. Now, just doing it will be a lot easier if we've set the intention, found the energy, we have our plan, we have our resources, we've cleared the path, we've made the time, and we have a focused mindset. It will be so much easier to just do it. This applies to your small goals, are very easy tasks, but these same key steps apply to the biggest task you can think of. Also, along the way, we want you to savor what you did, big or small, and hold yourself accountable. So, savor what you did, hold yourself accountable. So, there you go. That's how we motivate, right? So, here we are. We know we've got the 8 steps. We can motivate, right? We're done. Should we just end here? We've got the keys. But as we all know, it takes work. So if only it were just as easy as that, it would be great. But now we've got to put the muscle behind it and actually unlock the doors. So when I think about this, I think, what are things that get in the way of ourselves unlocking the door with those keys? And to me, what resonates is I think of what commonly is shared with me as blocks, I refer to as the fog. So here we see it visually. But FOG, I find this acronym helpful, stands for fear, obligation, and guilt. And these tend to be things that really do come up as fog in our way when we're trying to accomplish things. So let's look at fear. Fear is when we let our emotions and negative impulses get in the way. So, to problem solve here, we want to uncover what it is we're afraid of and work through it so we can get around it. The O is for obligation. An obligation happens when we feel burdened by our obligations and we hold ourselves back. So, to troubleshoot here, we need to think about what we're burdened by and try to release it so that we can get to where we need to be. And G stands for guilt. So, guilt is when we somehow feel bad for what we want. Maybe we think we don't deserve it, or it's not a worthy goal, or it's just not what others expect of us. We do know that guilt is extremely unhelpful when we're trying to get things done. It weighs us down. So sometimes we need to go all the way back to what the origins are. But for the purposes of motivating, we just need to get rid of that guilt however we can. Our aim is just to let it go. So let's clear the fog. And I want to take a minute to go back to what I alluded to before. When we're doing these 8 keys of motivation, it is really critical to savor what you did, big or small. Savoring is a key to our happiness. If we really take the time to savor as we go, it builds our reserves, and it just helps make everything work for us better. It's that extra notch up when we savor, notice, and recognize. It also is a key to motivation. When we savor, it triggers our happiness hormones. Our happiness hormones make us more motivated. So it's not just extra credit, it's necessary. The same goes for accountability. So my feeling is that if you say your intention out loud, or you write it down, or preferably even say it to someone else, it's that extra push that will make you accountable. Um, Accountability is a key premise in Well Together. If you need the extra push, we are always willing to walk beside you and help you accomplish your goals. In fact, we had you write down some of these goals, so don't be surprised when Cindy and I circle back to that and hold you accountable for even the thing that you said you were going to do today. But now we've got to pause and think, okay, where do we start? So we've just finished the end of the year. And the end of the year is generally where professionally and personally we're likely to do an audit, some internal accounting as to where we are, where we want to be. And don't be afraid to really do this internal audit. Go back and use some metrics. Magnify what you've done, how you did it, what worked and what didn't work. And then you free yourself to think of what you want to accomplish going forward. So your audit is a really useful tool, and it's the perfect time of year to do it. So let's use the golden opportunity of the audit to get us started. Look back before you can look forward. After that, give yourself the opportunity to dream. The sky is the limit, right? So let's really expand our horizons, think of what we want. If we don't have it in our mind, it's definitely not going to happen. So give yourself the room to dream and think about what you want your future to look like. And when you have given yourself ample opportunity to do that, you want to then take it up that extra step to resolve to do it. So, where we resolve, we really commit ourselves to action. We don't just know what we've done before, we don't just know what we want, but we resolve to put these things in practice. We want to use our keys and we want to just make these things happen for ourselves. So, in this critical resolving step, I have a method that usually works for me. I find it quite a useful acronym, and that is the SMART method. So, when we're thinking about our goals and what we want to do, um, the SMART, I think, really works. So, breaking it down, we want our goals to be as specific as possible. This vastly increases our chance for success. When things are too broad or vague, they're really less manageable. So be as specific as you can. Also, we want our goals to be M for measurable. And here, how I picture it is that it's like a vector that has an endpoint of an arrow, right? But we've got our dots along the way. So we want to make sure that we can measure between those dots to get to where we're going. A is for achievable. So we want our goals to be achievable. We want to be reasonable in our planning so that we're more likely to accomplish what we want. R is for realistic, and realistic dreams matter. Of course, we want to be able to shoot for the moon because even if we get partially to the stars, we're in great shape. But we do want to have something that's realistic and achievable and actionable. And last, the T is for time limited. So we want to have a time work and framework to work within. So if you've got your timeline, I think that you have something going back to a little bit more measurable. So you know where you are, you have an end date in mind, and that helps you keep yourself focused. So that is our SMART method. So now I pause and think, here we are, 2021. We're at the cusp of the new year, and I hope for us that we can translate these hopes and dreams into reality. It's important to use what we know to guide us, also to remember that we can ask for help when we need it. So, we would like to take this opportunity to wish you a productive and fun start. Make sure to give yourself credit for adapting to a pandemic and utter mayhem as you do conduct your audit, build your dreams, motivate, and get started. So, before we get too busy, though, patting ourselves on the back that now we know what to do and we're going to do it, I have a question for you. Are your goals for one day, or are you going to make this your day one? So I hope that this will be your day one. And what we'd like to do is to go back to those goals that you set at the beginning of this and see if we can make them actionable today and get yourself started on the path to exactly where you want to be. So take a minute to return to where you were and think of how you're going to take this small step and incorporate it into larger steps to get you to the ultimate big dreams and big plan of what you want for 2021. So we're going to continue with discussion for those of you who are live with us, and for those of you who are virtual, we wish you much success on this journey. And Cindy and I are always available for you. So visit our website, wearewelltogether.com. Follow us on social media, and we are available to interact with you any way that's the easiest for you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks so much.